Hello everyone, my name is Tim Schmidt. I'm a senior in high school attending Freedom Project Academy. I live in West Bend, Wisconsin, and last year I used David Richards' college admissions coaching services to ultimately get me into Baylor University, in which I will attend there to major in mechanical engineering. So some things I like to do in my free time: I like to read, I like to go running, I like to swim, I like to bike, and I also really like alternative rock music. So basically, I used to go to University School of Milwaukee down in River Hills, Wisconsin, but I personally thought that the school culture was a bit politically motivated. I thought just the overall culture of the school didn't allow uh, contrasting viewpoints on controversial topics, so that's why I left and I joined Freedom Project Academy, and I've enjoyed it ever since. So what I really liked about working with David Richard was over the course of some months, just working on my writing with him, he really improved my creative writing process, because beforehand my creative writing skills weren't that great, but after working with him for some time, they were greatly improved, and I really owe that to him and all the things he's taught me over the course of my time working with him. Basically, just the importance of adding a personal narratives to a story, along with adding descriptive details and imagery in a story. That's also very important. But I mean, working with David Richard, I mean, when I think of a high school college guidance counselor, I think of some guy working in an office who is just paid to help out these students, but he's not really passionate about what he does. He kind of works with students like one at a time, not really paying attention to their like story or their perspective. But David Richard, he really gets to know you. He really cares about your own writing style, your own goals and objectives, and I think that's what makes David Richard stand out from the competition. And I think he excels quite well at that. So working with David Richard was really a phenomenal experience. He really introduced me and walked me through the whole college creative writing process for college applications, and he really showed me what college admissions officers were looking for in a college application. And so that was just a really profound learning experience to see what kind of creative writing could be taken out, what kind of creating could be kept, what kind of creative writing could be kept. And that was after just many hours of my own creative writing. He would just ask me to write pages and pages of writing from my own life experience. And it was just a really great opportunity to understand like the value of a personal narrative and storytelling in creative writing. And David Richard, he's such a respectful, kind person, totally understanding. He would walk me through every step of the whole process, and in the end, it was just a really great final product, and I really could not have done it without him. So I can really remember all the great times and memories I have working with David Richard. I always remember looking forward to that phone call with him at around 8 o'clock my time, and at the start of the phone call, we'd kind of go through what happened in our day and recent events in our life, and then we get right into the creative writing. But I remember one time he asked me kind of towards the beginning of the phone call if it was okay that during the call he would go out and get some nachos. So while I was talking to him about my creative writing, he just walked out of his apartment and just ordered nachos and got back, and all the time, the whole time I was just talking to him about my creative writing, and it was so cool. And some of my favorite parts of my essays, from working with David Richard, include when I was training for a half marathon, and also when my dad, who wanted to talk to the publisher of a big magazine, and the publisher was a guy he really looked up to. The publisher pretty much shut him down, said he would never be successful in what he was trying to do. And the cool thing was that just a few years later, my dad was really successful in his business ventures. So I had some really great times working with David Richard. So I found out about David Richard's college admissions coaching services just by doing a simple search on Google. And so when I found his website, I was just like, wow, this guy seems like really professional, very legitimate. And I looked at the video testimonials, like wow, this guy has helped some kids get into really prestigious colleges, universities, and he seemed, very professional. He totally knew what he was doing, and so I took the risk. I filled out the survey, and he got back to me. We scheduled a phone call, and just the whole time he seemed totally professional, very respectful, very intelligent, um, just a great guy to work with. And I would recommend anyone who really wants to get a leg up or a significant advantage in the college admissions process to seriously consider David Richards' coaching services. And if you put in the necessary time and effort into your creative writing, which he will totally help you with every step of the way, I I promise you that you will not regret it.